How hurt do you need to be to write Jujutsu Kaisen? Gojo Satoru is more than just a character. He's a phenomenon, a cultural reset, a man who redefined popularity. But at the heart of it all, he's just a regular human who feels regular emotions. His fandom, though, is no less than a cult, with fans mourning his passing as if he were a close family member or a treasured friend. Some even forget what species they belong to whenever they heard his name. It's no surprise that Gojo's role in the anime was crucial. He dictated the storyline for the most part, to the point that his very existence caused a shift in the Jujutsu world and buffed curses just to inch closer to his might, thus creating a new system altogether. And now with him gone, the whole system came crashing down, leaving an outlet for Sukuna, the second strongest, to take reign. He was like the pillars that supported, empowered, and encouraged the sorcerers, and with the pillars gone, the sorcerers realized just how astronomical of a difference Gojo's mere existence had on their lives. Even during his absence, he was always mentioned and used as a scale to measure power. With him gone, all that was once familiar became foreign. With that said, there have been theories supporting Gojo's return that aren't entirely rooted in coping. The first theory supporting his return is the fact that he can use reverse curse technique the same way he did in his fight with Toji. That as long as his eyes and his head are still intact, there's a high possibility that he can return. With the reverse curse technique, Yuta can use Rika to turn the cursed energy into positive energy and revive Gojo. But then again, that is a possibility dependent not only on Yuta and the others, but also on Gojo's biggest hater, who is none other than Gege himself. Another theory rests on the mythologies Gege has incorporated into the plot, likening Gojo to Buddha, and that in death he was presented with two options, either to accept death or to resurrect. The fact supporting him being inspired by or playing the role of Buddha is shown by him quoting the same with and with the possibility of him sacrificing his 6 eyes to casting a binding vow, just like how Edward from Fullmetal Alchemist sacrificed his ability to wield alchemy to bring Alphonse back. Setting a condition as big as sacrificing his 6 eyes should theoretically be a better than fair deal to return to life. With how powerful his ability was, he should even be getting a +1 to live alongside him. But let's not forget it's Gege we're dealing with here. To most people, Gojo may have appeared to be living his best life, but he was nothing more than a tool to the very end. As unfair as it may seem, it makes sense, knowing that Jujutsu Kaisen was inspired by Buddhism that believed in the concept of dying without meaning and that strength alone isn't enough to save the day. He was born alone and he died alone. Throughout his life, he was constantly reminded of the fact that this was not his place to be, that he stood on a threshold far greater than what could entertain mere human emotions of happiness or sadness, and that even as the strongest, he was never in control. His reality rocked the day his short ghetto passed on without him, when the very people he had given his everything to save turned on him, how all his efforts would only end up in vain, how no matter how strong good was, evil will continue to lurk and grow in the darkness, how the righteous would continue to be ostracized, misunderstood, and forced to bear burdens beyond their capacity, causing another ghetto to be born. Yet despite the odds, he held on to hope, the hope glimmering in the eyes of Yuji and the others, that even without him, the world may still be blessed by peace. This was shown by the letters he gave to Megumi and Nobara. It may have seemed like a small teacher-like gesture, but amongst all the chaos, the bloodshed, and the uncertainty, he firmly believed that his students would make it out alive. To think that someone who'd only known tragedy all their lives would be capable of picturing a happy ending for his students is honestly beyond me. He wasn't only physically gifted, but also had an invincible mental fortitude, one that weathered the storms Gege had cruelly sent his way, one that lost his loved ones, one that was used as a tool to the very end, one that shouldered the expectations of the entire Jujutsu world, and one that was left all alone with all his might and glory. Is it too much to ask for one such as Gojo to relish peace for once? Or maybe it was only in death that he could finally find it?